right, welcome back. I'm Chip, that's Joanna.
Yes.
There you go. As we continue giving you a sneak peek of a new Texas-based web series, Everything You Want to Know About, which does a deep dive on lifestyle topics. Well, we thought we'd switch gears a little bit.
I love this. Jenny Antandro is here to talk to us about whiskey. You learned about the art of making whiskey, what makes it so special. Yeah. This is very cool.
Well, and the reason behind doing this is just that there can sometimes be an intimidation factor with whiskey, sort of like golf, right? Sometimes deals are done on the golf course, and if you don't golf, you're not there, you could miss the deal. And I know I don't want to miss the deal.
That's right.
Right? I don't want you guys to miss the deal. So here's that first little sneak peek. If somebody's never tasted a bourbon or a whiskey before, which one should they start with if they're trying to kind of ease into this experience?
Well, I think bourbon is a very good one to start out with because it has a little sweeter flavor to it, and it has a nice aroma to it. So it's not hard to learn how to drink. It's very easy.
Let me make sure I'm understanding all of this correctly. We have whiskey is the greater sort of subject. Bourbon is a subtopic. Are there other subtopics under whiskey?
Sure. We have rye whiskey.
Okay.
We have what we call corn whiskey. Scotch is a whiskey that happens to be made in Scotland from barley.
So Scotch can't be made in Texas?
Correct. Scotch has to be made in Scotland, and bourbon has to be made in America.
Oh! Well, look at you having the exclusive American rights to bourbon.
Yes.
I like that. So the reminder here, Scotch is whiskey made from malted barley, and bourbon is whiskey distilled from corn.
Gotcha.
And Amanda, I found it to be interesting that this is something that you actually studied on your own and learned, right?
I did. I just had a mission that I wanted to learn how to go in and order a whiskey and like it and not make a face. Like just for lack of a better term, be a cool chick and just sit down and know what I was doing without asking anyone's help.
Well,
so
isn't
this
it
is
kind
cool.
of empowering?
It is in a weird
go
way.
In
Yeah.
and just be confident in your choices, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but it's nice to be able to know.
Yeah, and just know a little about it for sure. That's very cool.
And my favorite drink is like an old fashioned. So when they ask you, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I guess this is what the series.
That's why you're here.
We can order everyone. Yes, everyone can walk in. Just because, like it or not, it's fun to be confident about a topic and to know and to come with like a little nugget of knowledge.
Absolutely.
So you talked about doing it without making the face, right? Like taking the sip without making the face.
Yeah.
I learned a really specific technique at the distillery, and I will tell you, I'd actually never had whiskey before. And 37 years old, I had never even had a sip before. And the very first sip I had with the highest proof that they had, it was smooth.
Yeah.
And I was able to enjoy it because I learned how.
Get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If you're hearing yells, we do have kids in the
I know.
studio, so it's not one of us. It is Halloween, so we do love that. So let's preview some of the other stuff you have coming up as well.
Yeah, so the deal is tomorrow on the show, what we're going to share is that exact technique so that if you do walk in and you don't have an expert with you, you can go in and confidently, it's almost like wine tasting, where there's like a swirl, a smell, and then a sip, and then an exhale. So we'll go through all the details on that, and then also really what to look for.
Right.
And what creates a good whiskey. So now that you know what to look for, do you find yourself ordering it more often?
I do, and especially when it gets chilly, and I like it with one rock.
Well, look at you with the
and then when
one
it hits
rock.
my tongue, it like disperses in a nice way. So
Like that.
See?